This is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you all are having a great morning and a great start of your weekend. If you're watching this video, you're probably seeing it a few days after I made this, but today's topic I wanted to discuss what it takes to run a sub 1430 5K. I only did this one time in my career and it was not easy whatsoever. To run 14:29:59 for 5K, you need to hold 4 minutes and 40 seconds per mile for 3.1 miles. Or 2 minutes and 54 seconds per kilometer for 5 kilometers. So I only broke 14:30 one time. I ran 14:18 as personal best on the roads at the Das Hasselhoff 5K in Denver, Colorado. It was at 5,300 feet as well. I took second in that race. The guy that beat me was my teammate at the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program. His name's Kenny Foster, and Kenny ran 14:16 to win. We basically ran the entire race together. Kenny ended up running 49:11 for 10 miles, 105:11 for a half marathon, and ended up running 2:19:49 on the same course that I ran 2:19:35 in Sacramento, California. And so I knew the type of caliber athlete Kenny is. I knew what I had to do in order to sustain that type of pace. But like I said, I never really had a lot of talent, so I understand where athletes are coming from that are really doing the very best that they can. Either maybe you're trying to run under 18 minutes or 16 minutes or under 15 minutes. I understand it takes a great deal of sacrifice, time, patience, and the ability to withstand setbacks, especially the faster you're trying to run. Anybody that's trying to run under 14:30 for 5K has got to have their head on straight, and they got to be extremely fit, anaerobically fit to run under a 14:30 5K. It took me literally pretty much from 1992 all the way to 2010 when I ran this time to run under 14:30. And there are other athletes that are much more talented than I was that are able to duplicate this type of effort, it seems like every other week. And so if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of talent, I understand where you come from. You have to rely on your work ethic. You have to know that tenacity and the ability to overcome setbacks quickly and to stick to your guns and stick to your plan, work your plan your work, that will get you under 14:30. Okay, you have to develop your leg speed. You have to train at paces closer to around 425 to 430 mile pace. Okay, you have to get accustomed to running under 440 mile pace, okay, or under 254 kilometer pace, so you can get this particular pace to feel less aggressive on you. And it's gonna hurt regardless how fit you are. It's gonna definitely, you wanna make sure if you're gonna be hurting, you're gonna be hurting in the last mile or the last kilometer of the race. That's normal. It doesn't matter how physically fit you are, how mentally tough you are. It's the latter stages of a 5K that you have to stay in it mentally. You have to just dig down deep and really focus in on that last mile of the race, or that last 1.6 kilometers of the race, where most of your competition is going to become the weakest at that particular point. They're really just trying their very best to get to the finish line. Whereas with you need to attack early, attack well before they start making their moves. So in terms of the types of workouts you need to be really thinking about is, and I really preach this in the training courses and the training programs on RunDreamAchieve.com. I always focus on doing a recovery week every third week. So it's the start of the fourth week. So it's after the end of the third week, we do a recovery week. So that way you're pushing the body really hard anaerobically for a specific amount of time. Then you're allowing a recovery week. And I talk about periodization as well. So if all of our training programs are 4 months in length, we start off focusing on one effort for 3 to 4 weeks. Then we move to the next higher intensity and starting to lower down the rest and recovery between each one of those efforts. Because again, to run under 14:30, you need to be thinking about, what do I need to do to be able to sustain 440 mile pace for over 3 miles or 254K pace? You need to be getting to a point where you can do 5 to 6 1 mile repetitions on the track, closer to around 425 to 435 per rep. You have to get that tempo run out to around anywhere from 6 to 8 miles in length, or anywhere from, let me see, 10K to around 15K in length, and getting that pace down to around 5-minute mile pace. Okay, if you can withstand that type of effort for that amount of time, that's going to build up the strength and stamina that you need in order to run this fast for a 5K. You have to develop that raw leg speed, doing 200s, doing anywhere from 12 to 16 200 repetitions on the track, closer to around 31 to 32 seconds per rep, with very minimal rest, around 60 seconds rest in between each one of those reps. Okay, when you're doing mile repeats, start off with more rest, so you can, obviously you're not as anaerobically fit, but give yourself around 4 minutes recovery between each one of those reps. And then when you're very fit, I'm talking right, like when you're at your golden moment, right before you start tapering down, being able to do 5 to 6 1-mile repetitions at around 430, anywhere from 430 to 440 repetitions per 430 to 440 per rep on the track, with around 2 minutes rest in between each rep. So again, you're not going to have any rest in between those miles or those kilometers in a 5K race when you're trying to run this fast. And granted, like I said, the world record for the 5K now on the track is 12 minutes and 37 seconds for men. And I mean, this is a phenomenal type of capability that athlete was able to do. I mean, very efficient, and to run under 430, you have to be very efficient at clearing lactic acid faster than it's building up. So the only way to do that is to be training at paces that are much faster than 1430 pace. So again, you're not going to be able to spend much time training at these types of intensities. Repeat 400s, examples of workouts would be anywhere from like 8 to 14 400s on the track, around 63 to 64 seconds per rep, with 60 seconds rest in between. Okay, very aggressive, very highly anaerobic efforts, where you're like I said, you're only able to spend a few seconds at these types of efforts with very minimal rest. Now again, you're not starting off doing these types of workouts immediately. It's not going to work that way. You might want to start off doing your 400 reps anywhere from 69 to 71 seconds per rep, with a little bit more rest. And then as you get fitter, and that's kind of how we develop the athlete with the courses and training programs on RunDreamAchieve.com, want to focus on starting off gradually and not trying to rush the process. That's one of the big problems that a lot of athletes encounter that are trying to run under 1430 for the 5K. It's a highly aggressive, very difficult time to achieve. There are a lot of athletes, very capable athletes, that don't run under 1430. And so you have to start thinking about not so much training harder, but training smarter. What do I need to do to bypass the mistakes that I've made in the past? Have I ran too many of my miles too slow? Have I been running too much volume overall? Okay, you have to start thinking about what is the percentage of my weekly volume, my weekly miles, my weekly kilometers that I'm running. What percentage of that particular volume am I training at, near, or close to 440 mile pace or 254 kilometer pace? You still have to focus on running easy as well, but don't run too fast on your easy days. Back off. Learn the discipline of jogging on easy days. This isn't most athletes are still running on easy days. If you slow down and just enjoy those easy days, allow yourself time to recover, you're going to get so much more benefit. And especially when it comes to those days where you have to get on the track and you're by yourself and you don't have anybody to train with, you're gonna really need those easy days, because those hard days are gonna test you to the limit physically and mentally. I mean, they're gonna push you all the way to the brink. So you're gonna really start focusing. I really need to take 48 hours of jogging and easy, relaxed pace running or jogging on my easy days, and give yourself about 2 days of recovery between those hard anaerobic workouts. That way you can get that return on investment that you're searching for, and so you can start tapering down and do that 10-day taper I talk about. Don't do a 3-week taper. Give yourself 10 days and start dropping your volume and your intensity 10 days out. So you're only giving yourself a few days, of recovery leading into the big race. 10 days of dialing back your volume and your intensity is sufficient time to really go into that 5K feeling energized, ready to go, ready to break 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, starting to drop your volume and your intensity 3 weeks out, 21 days out from your main event, it doesn't always work. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work for a lot of athletes, because it does. But I just know I've always ran my personal best from, you know, the 5K, the 10 mile, the half marathon, the marathon, off of a 10-day taper. So I want to share that with you all just to give it a shot, see how you feel. And so, like I said, 1430, you're going to really have to be very fit. You're going to have to be very strong mentally. Like I said, I only did this one time in my career, once. And so I know, and when I did it, I was in very, very good shape. I was very fit. I was fortunate that I had somebody very strong in that race to pull me along as well. And I was pushing him too. I mean, we literally ran together side by side the entire race. And the only point where he beat me was in the last 100 meters of the race. He just beat me in the sprint. He ran 14:16, I ran 14:18. And so you have to be aggressive. It also helps to have that competition with you, and to do that proper taper going into your 5K feeling refreshed, energized, focused, and ready to break 14:30, holding that 440 mile pace for 3.1 miles or 254K pace for those 5 kilometers. So if there's any other questions or concerns that you have, leave me a comment below this video. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you do, help you in your preparation for the 5K. And I don't care if you're trying to run 14:30 or trying to break 25 minutes for the 5K. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's any specific area of the 5K you want me to cover in my next video, and I'll definitely do that for you. Also, I have a new Patreon website, or a Patreon link below this video. If you're more interested in one-on-one coaching, or you want to have a little bit more perks, get a little bit more one-on-one attention with me, check out the Patreon link. I'll leave that link in this video as well, so you can check that out. And like I said, if there's anything else I can help you all out with, feel free to leave me a comment. I appreciate your support of this channel and all that you all do. I know that training for 5Ks and marathons and miles is a ton of work. And I'm excited for you all as well. I'm excited for, I just heard yesterday my nephew, Brock, ran a personal best for the 2 mile, ran 9:46 at one of his track and field invitationals. I was fired up because I know how difficult that was. I mean, that was my personal best for 2 miles in high school as well as a senior, and he's a senior now too. I definitely think he'll run faster. I think he'll go under 9:30. He has the potential to go even under 9:20 for the 2 mile before he graduates. So I'm fired up about that too, because I know his future is bright. He's fired up about running, and that's what you have to have. Just stick with your goals, be tenacious, don't let up. And if you stick with that and you're tenacious enough for a long enough period of time, there's no goal you cannot achieve. It's a matter of how long you're willing to work, how committed you are, how focused you are, and if you stay committed and driven onto what you want to do, there's nothing that's going to be impossible for you. So I'll talk to you all in the next video. Wish you all the best. Keep me updated on your training and your racing, and I look forward to talking with you in the next video.